Good day, folks. Welcome to Behind the Veil, where we delve deeper into some of the things behind Pick Up the Mic Network. So today, it is me, your wonderful host from the Two Maesters, Morgan. Yeah, I bet you didn't even know my name this whole time. And today we have a very special guest called, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name's Hestina.
Hey Hestina, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good. I've got to say, this room is really hot right now.
Yeah, honestly, it's like come from the cold and then into the hot. It's
exactly.
crazy.
It's just to add pressure and make you even more nervous for this. But don't worry. So today, for this theme on Behind the Veil, we're going to be talking about inflammatory bowel syndrome.
Disease.
So this is what, in preparation for this, I kept getting IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel syndrome mixed up.
It's easy to get the two confused. I often get that. Like, I'll say to people, I've got inflammatory bowel disease, and they're like, oh, so how is it like with irritable bowel syndrome? And I'm like, I don't know because I don't have it. But, you know.
Fair enough, yeah. I know, because I will admit, I've heard of irritable bowel syndrome before. Like, one of my flatmates in a flat I was in during lockdown had it. But never heard of inflammatory bowel syndrome? Disease, that's it. Sorry. That's going to happen a lot, by the way.
That's okay.
But before we delve into that, could you just tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you're up to at the moment?
Mm-hmm. Well, where I'm from, I was born in the UK, East London.
Nice.
Woohoo. But like ethnicity-wise, I'm half from India. My mum's from the Punjab, and my dad's from Antigua in the Caribbean. I've never been to either, actually. I've only been out of the UK once, and that was to Portugal last year.
That sounds quite lovely.
Hoping for more. And yeah, I'm studying at Brunel at the moment, studying film production in my final year. And yeah.
Ah, nice. Well, final year, we all know how much of a anxious soul crusher that can be at university.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's so much work, and it's like the biggest year. It counts the most towards a degree, but just trying to take one day at a time, you know?
Yeah, hang on now. It'll be over soon. This is how I felt as well at that time in my life. So what can you tell us about when you first sort of realized that you had inflammatory bowel disease?
Well, that's going back in time to when I was 17. So that was 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I was doing my A-levels, and then I just remember like January, when was it 5 years ago? 2019? Was that 2019?
Oh my goodness, yeah, that is 5 years ago.
Back in time.
We're getting old.
Yeah, so January time, 2019, I started getting like these crazy stomach pains. And I didn't know what it was, and I thought maybe it's something I ate, but it continued for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, that's really abnormal. And then I told my mum, and then we went to the GP, but they just said, oh, it might be like a stomach flu. Okay. So they just said drink water and stuff. And then after 2 weeks, I got better. So I was like, okay, it must be fine. And then in that same year, it happened. Like 4 months later, got better. 4 months later, again, it happened again. So then I kind of started to wonder what was wrong.
Okay.
And then the following year, 2020, 2020 was a crazy year for me, actually, because I ended up in hospital.
Oh, no.
With kidney failure. So that's a whole different...
Was it related to COVID, or did you have COVID?
No.
Okay.
So I have another condition.
No worries.
Called atypical hemolytic uremic syndrome.
Okay.
It's a rare condition. It affects 2 in a million, and I had to be one of those 2.
Wow, that's special in its own way, I guess.
But anyway, so at the hospital, that's when they kind of did all the checks, and I was telling them about these stomach symptoms, and then they did like scans and stuff, blood tests, and they were like, oh, we think you have Crohn's.
Right, okay.
And so inflammatory bowel disease, there's technically 3 types. So there's Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, and then IB, like inflammatory bowel disease unclassified.
Oh, right.
So Crohn's, I'm really getting into this now.
No, I mean, this is why we're here, Behind the Veil. We dig deep.
Yeah. So Crohn's is, okay, actually, let me start by saying what actually is inflammatory bowel disease.
Okay, go for it.
It's inflammation of the digestive tract.
Okay.
It's an autoimmune disease where the immune system mistakes like healthy tissue as like bad. So it kind of acts like you've got an infection when you don't, and so it like attacks you. And Crohn's is like, it attacks like your whole digestive system from your mouth all the way like down to your gut. Ulcerative colitis is just your large intestine. And then unclassified is like when the doctors aren't really sure like if you have Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, so they kind of just put you in the middle. So at first they told me in 2020 they think I have Crohn's. And then they went on to say that it's actually IBD unclassified. And then they went on to say ulcerative colitis. And now they've gone back to IBDU. So I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, what a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I guess that adds to like the whole stress of the situation, because on top of that, you've got all the COVID stuff going on. Then you've got doctors telling you different things. And it's kind of, I haven't had that many physical body issues, but a couple of friends who have to, go to doctors a lot and sometimes like not be sure of their opinion and then have to get a second opinion. It's quite tough. And what would be sort of the physical symptoms you would feel from this problem?
So a lot of abdominal pain, what else? Feeling sick, like nausea, loss of appetite, so not really being able to eat much, constant fatigue. It also causes like a lot of blood loss as well, so anemia. What else? Just like brain fog. Like I get really like confused and like I don't know, like I can't think properly as well. Yeah.
And I can see how like that could really affect so many aspects of your life. And I'm sorry to hear that you go through something as this. And do you know if it runs in your family?
Well, the only family I really know is my mom, my dad, my brother. I don't really know like extended family, but no one in like my immediate family has it. So I'm kind of an anomaly, but
yeah, that must be tough. And in terms of like treatment, is there much treatment out there? Is there a lot of research going on at the moment?
Treatment, there's actually a lot of treatments. So since I was diagnosed in 2020, so that was 4 years ago, I've been put on a few different treatments. The first one is like the standard one. So it's like the mildest one. And then they kind of, if you don't respond to the mild ones, they kind of increase in like how strong they are. So the mildest one was called can't even pronounce it.
It's like, you don't look at me. Look how I've been pronouncing the disease. Not been doing it right. Mesalazine. Yes.
Nice. And there's like multiple different types of mesalazine, like all different ones that target different parts of the colon, different parts of the digestive system, lots of stuff. But the one they put me on was called Pentasa, and that just like works around the whole large intestine. And they gave it like as sachets, so it's just like you drink 2 a day.
What does it taste like?
Terrible. Terrible.
Is it the worst tasting medicine?
Sorry.
That's okay, don't worry.
I just thought about it. And
I feel like that was my fault. My bad.
Sorry.
That's okay, don't worry, it's all good. Okay.
What was I saying?
And is that available on the NHS?
Yeah. Okay. So, sorry.
That's okay.
So that's what the one they started me on, and then it kind of started to work, but I feel like it was like too mild for my condition. So it kind of like worked, but not like to fully make me better. Yeah. So then I think like a year later, because it's usually what they do is they put you on a treatment for a year. They see like how you are at the end of the year. If there's not really any improvement, they will switch you. Okay. So after the year, they put me on this immunosuppressant called vedolizumab. They have such big names. But vedolizumab, which is like gut selective, which means it doesn't affect the whole immune system, because immunosuppressants, they work by suppressing the immune system, which means you're more likely to be sick and like you'll catch stuff quicker and stuff like that. But vedolizumab is more mild in the sense that like your chances of getting ill are slightly increased, but not so much, if that makes sense. So I was on vedolizumab for a year. Yeah. Okay. And in the beginning it kind of worked, but then it stopped. So they,
Okay.
yeah. And then they switched me to another one with a big name, infliximab. Infliximab, yeah. And that one was crazy actually, because it did more harm than good for me.
Oh, bloody hell.
We love that. At first, it did start to help. Like within a few days, I did feel better. But then as time went on, like it didn't really help for my symptoms. And then I noticed like a bunch of bad things happening. Like I was getting like really bad acne, which is fun. And then I was getting this knee pain as well. And then I lost feeling in one of my toes. And then what else? I can't remember what else, but yeah, that was a bunch of things happening. And I also got sick, like with the worst like cough and like sinus problems for like 5 weeks straight.
Right.
And
which sort of stage in your life were you at when this was happening to you? Were you just started university, or what were you up to?
Well, I started university all the way in 2019 in September, so I've been out for a while.
Oh, fair.
Actually, I had to like come back, like redo my first year because of all my illnesses and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I can understand that, yeah.
And even final year, like I was in final year last year as well. And then because of this disease, I actually couldn't complete all my work. So I'm back this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, actually.
I can imagine, yeah. And some people said 2020 was a tough year for them, but sounds like some of us had a tougher, yeah, for everyone. Do you find that the university was quite accepting that you needed to redo the year? Like, was it an okay process?
Yeah, actually, it was way better than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Obviously, for me, I didn't want to repeat the year because I just want to get things done, and I felt like really bad, like I'm going to be behind and stuff like that. But, you know, when I had to redo my first year, I didn't have to redo the whole thing. I just have to come back the next year to complete the work that I couldn't finish in the previous year. So that was fine. And then they didn't charge me any extra tuition fees either. So
good. I was going to say,
yeah.
I know what some universities can be like.
So even for this year, my tuition fees are 0. So woohoo.
Nice.
That's
Thank
good.
you, Brunel.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brunel.
Yeah.
They paid us to say that. No, they did not.
So yeah, lecturers are really like helpful, supportive, and you know, like I've let them know about my condition and stuff, so like they support me where they can and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I see from what you can say that with this disease that it does have quite a big impact on your education and your life, but thank goodness that there's a way that you can redo these uni years and ensure that you're not missing out on something. Do you think there's is there like a network of people with your condition out there that you can speak to? Or have you been put in touch with like an online forum or something?
I use Reddit.
Reddit? See, there you go. I use Reddit as well for other stuff.
Okay, great. Yeah, I use Reddit. Sometimes I post on there and like people will reply. I don't really know who they are. They're just, you know, strangers. But it's always nice to know that I'm not the only one in the world going through it. You know,
that's good to know.
There's a lot of people. In real life, I don't really know anyone, but honestly, I feel like this disease, inflammatory bowel disease, it's not something that people can openly like share with everyone. Like for me personally, like
can I just say thank you for coming on it to talk about it as well. But sorry, continue.
Yeah, for me personally, like throughout the years, I kind of felt ashamed about it, like the nature of the condition. Right. People, like when I first got diagnosed, I told one of my closest friends, and he was like, "Ugh, that's disgusting." And so I was like, "Oh no!"
Wow, what a horrible move! Oh man.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but
how young were you when you? How young were you two when you?
How old was he? I think he was like 22 at the time,
right,
and then I was 18 or 19, something like that. But yeah, now I kind of I don't feel so bad about it, you know? So I feel more okay to talk about it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I feel like as we get older, especially into our going from from 18, you remember when you're in school and you see the older kids and they could be I don't know, year 7 or year 8, and then like they look so big. You're like, God, they're so mature. Yeah, you're like you're one of the younger kids, and you're just looking up to. When you get to that age, you just realize how immature everyone is, and then when you get to when you turn 20 and you're at uni as well, and you're just like, God, I looked at 20-year-olds thinking they were so confident, but I just realized they've got so many worries. They've got so much anxiety.
Yeah.
I think what I'm trying to say, as long story short, is as you get later into your 20s, you learn to just kind of get into things and just talk about who you are and what you have more openly. You get more confident about it, because stuff I wouldn't dare talk about when I was young because I was afraid of what people thought. And now that we're getting into our later 20s, it just feels like, who gives a crap? You know? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I try and think about it, what I try and tell myself is that like we're all living our own life, and it's our life. So if we live our life like focusing on what other people think, we're kind of living for other people.
Yeah.
You know, so even when it comes to like things that I wear or stuff like that, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I can't wear like a certain top, for example, because people won't like it. And then I think, well, do I like it? Then I'm going to wear it, you know, even if people don't like it. You know?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I really like that spit. And can I just say, that is a great top, honestly.
Oh, thank you so much. I literally bought it, I don't know, like yesterday, I think, actually.
Oh, well, there you go.
In Uxbridge.
Big up to Uxbridge. That's where it's all going on. And like when you're feeling like you're going through some tough times or you're not feeling great, what do you do that sort of gets you through it? Do you like binge lots of Netflix or do you play games as well? I think you said.
Yeah. So I was actually pretty ill like a week or 2 ago. Like my symptoms just randomly out of nowhere just got so bad.
Right. Okay.
And I was basically like stuck in my bed, like not being able to do much. And it was during the week that I got sick that I was meant to go to New York. I was meant to go on holiday.
Oh, no, yeah, I remember you saying.
But that got cancelled because I couldn't even get out of the bed. So I couldn't get to New York. So instead, to compensate, I got myself a PlayStation 5.
Right. That explains it.
Yeah, I was just relaxing, playing games. I started playing Genshin Impact, which is actually really fun. I got Sims as well.
Sims 4.
Yeah.
I've got some funny stuff to tell you about Sims, but go on.
Yeah, I started building up my house. I made it all pink. I don't know if you can tell, but I like pink.
It's your Vogue, yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, so I was watching Netflix as well. What was I watching on Netflix? Something. Oh, it was
Is it a show that's out recently?
No. Oh no.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Always
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls.
That's the one.
You know, I've never seen Gilmore Girls, but one of my friends at uni was so damn obsessed with it.
Yeah, it's good. I've watched the first season, but with me, like, I get bored of things really quickly. So I got through the first season, and then now I haven't watched any more. And I know there's another 6 more seasons, but I'm just...
Well, at least you completed the season. I'm like, I just pick stuff up and drop it off like midway through. I'm like, I'm bored. I'll come back to this later. So you got that to thank. Interesting thing about Sims 4. I was reading about this in The Guardian recently. There's like, you can basically rent apartments in Sims 4. Maybe it's Sims 5 or it's some sort of mod. I can't remember what it was, but basically instead of owning a house in Sims, you're in an apartment, and they even make it too real in that it's like issues you have in real life renting a flat. So for example, mold is an issue in one of them. And there's a special mode you can play on Sims where you're in this apartment, there's mold growing, and if you don't take care of it quickly enough, it infects you and you turn into like a mushroom fungus monster.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's pretty like, it's almost too real, and then it gets unreal.
Yeah.
But I'm like, damn, after someone who's been renting it. No, I've been renting in London for, since I was 18, really, since I went to Brunel as well. I'll have to ask you what halls you're on as well to find that out. All the mold issues and stuff is just too real. Too real, that and Sims.
Yeah.
And what do you think of Sims 4 so far?
I've been enjoying it, actually. What was I going to say? Oh, now I've drawn a blank.
Yeah, that's okay. I do that every day of my life.
Yeah, same. Literally, like I'll be mid-sentence and then I'll be like,
What was I saying again?
Yeah. No, I've been enjoying Sims. I've not really like done much. I was decorating my house, and then I got bored, and then I stopped playing it.
Boring. Up a game, please.
But so far so good.
It's one of those games that it takes so long to like play that you can just come back to it another time.
Yeah.
Plus, as soon as you get to like midway through developing your house, you're like, bored, I'll make another one now.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. And what's your favorite snack and beverage to have when you're chilling in these moments?
I've been wow, I can't speak.
It's okay.
I've recently been enjoying. Yeah. Sorry. I've recently been enjoying kettle chips. You know kettle chips?
Yeah.
I really like the plain salted ones. Boring maybe, but I really like those.
Each to their own.
And I really like the mint arrow. Mint arrows.
Yeah, those are good. That's so bubbly. They were the only arrow flavor I ever had when I was snacking.
I love them. They're my favorite.
Yeah, they're good. I've got to say, I don't agree with you about the ready salted crisps thing. We can agree to disagree. I'm more of salt and vinegar, but each their own.
That means there's more for me, so.
Exactly. When you like, I guess when you're at a children's party when you're younger, they always had like the multi-bag of crisps on the table. You could just easily get the ready salted.
Yeah, this like no one, I don't think anyone likes already salted, but I do, so.
Yeah, it's a smart move, You get more resources that way. Yeah. In terms of drink, I'd probably say Fanta fruit twist. I feel like I'm like a big health freak. Like I work out too much. I don't really drink sugary stuff or eat sugary stuff anymore, apart from, this is why I love doing these interviews, because we get all of these. Look what she got me, some fruits as well, some candy.
I mean, it's fruit, so it's technically fruit.
It does say fruits on the package, so I don't see one of your 5 a day, but we know it's one of our 5 a day.
Somewhere.
Yeah, we don't need to be told that. So, we talk about these snacks and food, but does like any food or drink affect inflammatory bowel disease?
Well, for me personally, I first moved to uni in 2021, like at the beginning.
Okay.
And then since then, I've been like trying to change my diet, like kind of experimenting with things, seeing if I take out any food, does it help? Or, and for me, I don't think any food really affects my symptoms, apart from spicy foods, which is annoying because I love spicy foods, but my stomach doesn't. So, so apart from spicy foods, not really. If I'm like in a flare-up, which means my symptoms are like really bad, I kind of don't mind it, but I can't eat vegetables or fruits because it makes it worse.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
I don't mind because I force myself to eat vegetables or fruits because they're good for me, but I don't really... I'm happy to not eat them,
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
This is one weird convenience of inflammatory bowel disease.
Yes.
God damn, I'm struggling with pronouncing that. I keep, saying, almost saying irritable bowel disease. Is there like a link between them, would you say? Like, is there, or is it just the wording? There's no link whatsoever.
I mean, between the two, there's not really a link, but they both affect like the same parts of the body. So, irritable bowel syndrome.
Okay.
It has the same symptoms, or similar symptoms to inflammatory bowel disease. Like, I don't have it or really know anyone who does, but as far as I'm aware, it's like you get stomach aches and like cramps and things like that, but it doesn't actually cause any sort of like long-lasting damage to your body, if that makes sense. Whereas inflammatory bowel disease, it causes, stomach cramps and everything, but that's because there's actual like swelling going on.
Okay.
Swelling and ulcers and stuff. And long-term inflammation, I've been told, can lead to cancer, or it can lead to like blockages where you would need like surgery, and lots of scary things. Thankfully, I've not had surgery and stuff. But yeah, like long-term, if it's not treated, it just causes like damage over time. So actually, going back to treatments, I didn't mention the treatment that I'm on right now, which has actually helped me finally. It's called, its actual name is too long, I can't pronounce it, but the nice small name is Rinvoq. It's just a tablet I take once a day. I've been taking it for 3 weeks now, and yeah, it's really, really helped. I was at a point where, I said I couldn't get out of bed, and then within like 4 days of taking this, like I was like up, I was moving around, I was eating more. So yay, Rinvoq.
Hopeful, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopeful. This is good. Okay. And is this through the NHS that you get Rinvoq?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
They prescribed it to me. They gave it to me for free. Usually I have to pay for prescriptions, but they said I can have this one for free. So that's great.
Finally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. New year, new treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just glad after going through so many that this one's finally working. Because it's like, at the end of the day, like if all treatment fails, then the last option is surgery, which I really don't want, because surgery would mean like they would take the large intestine out, which means anyone who ever has that would have to have a bag where instead of like waste going through the large intestine, it would just go into the bag, which is like outside the body.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really seem the most pleasant. So I'm just happy for Rinvoq. And yeah.
We're back. So with all this in mind, what would you say to someone who is considering whether they have inflammatory bowel disease?
I would say go to the doctor and like be very persistent that you want tests done. Because when I went to the doctors, I went multiple times in the same year, in 2019, for the same thing, same symptoms. And they kept dismissing me, telling me it was just a stomach flu without doing any sort of tests.
Okay.
And if they did tests sooner, maybe I would have found out sooner.
Well, did you know, did you guess, did you do a lot of reading online and think it was irritable bowel disease?
When I was doing my reading online...
inflammatory bowel disease. Damn it.
Sorry, I didn't even correct you, sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, when I asked Google my symptoms, it was telling me that I had... what was it called? Oh yeah, it was telling me I had dysentery. It wasn't dysentery.
Yeah.
Inflammatory bowel disease actually didn't come up at all, and I didn't even know it existed because I'd never heard of it before. I never heard of anyone with it before.
Right.
So for my own self, I didn't think.
Well, I guess that must be a thing about, because it's perhaps it's just so little. It's not in the public knowledge, it's not super well known that there must be a lot of people who just aren't diagnosed with it, and as maybe going through the same situation as you. Do you think if there's one thing you could say to yourself when you're going through that time, what would you say and why?
I would say, try and push for an answer as to what was wrong, because I was very just the doctors would say, oh, it's a stomach flu, and I'd just be like, oh, okay, even though I thought something more was wrong, because every time I had symptoms reoccurring, each time it was getting progressively worse. And that's the thing with inflammatory bowel disease. You have symptoms of no symptoms, and then you have periods of symptoms, flare-ups, we call them. It's a fluctuating condition, so sometimes I'm fine, sometimes I'm not. And so that's even why, initially when I was getting symptoms and then they went away, I was like, okay, it must be nothing, but then it came back. So I would just say, just push for an answer, and not, I guess, be so lenient when it comes to my own health, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can understand what you mean. I'm kind of one of those people that I leave something stewing for too long, I'll be fine. And then someone says, why didn't you speak to a doctor sooner, you idiot?
Yeah.
But sometimes there's a lot of stuff we push to one side. And we do it with our mental health as well. We don't act very proactively when we start to see warning signs of something. It's okay, we all do that. We're only human. Was there someone or a group of people or something in your life that really helped you through those tough times?
I mean, my brother, he's been a great help to me. He's been very supportive in everything. Yeah. What else? My faith. I'm a Christian. So my faith and God has been really helping me. Yeah, like my brother and my faith mostly. And then That's just good. Also like self-care as well. Just taking time out. Just, I don't know, like painting my nails, doing a face mask, something like that. Something to like unwind as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Do you have a guilty pleasure? I guess you can't say, what was that show you were talking about earlier?
Gilmore Girls?
Yeah, is that guilty? Is that technically a guilty pleasure?
Maybe it was, but now I'm bored of it. So I don't know.
You're just guilty.
Yeah. Yeah. I would probably say my kettle chips.
The ready salted ones, my favourite.
Last night, actually, my brother, he was staying over with me, so he was sleeping, and while he was sleeping, I went for one packet of crisps, I ate them, and then I went for another. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oops.
I know what you mean. Sometimes I just have to go through like an entire bar of sharing chocolate in one night, and I'm like, this is not good. But, you just gotta be naughty sometimes.
Yeah, it happens.
And your brother's staying with you. Did you like do anything fun together? Go on any trips?
Yeah, yesterday we had pretty much the whole day together. We went on a spontaneous trip. We planned to go to an arcade in Soho, but when we got there, it was like it was a bit too loud for us. We didn't really like the atmosphere, so we went out, and then my brother was just like, oh, I've never been to Tower Bridge. Should we go there? So I was like, okay, yeah. So we ended up in Tower Bridge. We got pizza. We were just like looking around and taking pictures and stuff. And then he was going to teach me how to ride a bike, but then we got too tired. So that didn't happen. That's for next time.
Yeah, no, fair. Was it one of those like higher line bikes you can get?
He was going to teach me on the Santander, because they have the Santander bikes at Brunel. So.
They've got them there now, really?
Yeah.
What? But could you theoretically actually cycle one all the way from there to central London?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how they actually work because I've never ridden one.
I haven't ridden one in ages, because the thing is like they are handy to have, but they only go up to a certain point in South and North London. So, for example, where I live, Tottenham, there's no Santander bikes, but you see idiots who are like cycling around the Santander bikes up there, and I'm like, because you need to get back to a docking station, otherwise it'll just keep charging you every half hour. I'll have to set up an entirely new podcast to talk to you about the Brunel Santander bike situation, because if there's no docking station between Brunel campus and Uxbridge, and then the nearest one, I don't know. Where can I think of in West London off the top of my head? I keep thinking Barking, that's East London. But anyway, you'd be charged a lot. I'd be fascinated to hear more. Fair. And are there any like outdoor activities you like doing? Do you like exploring areas, or do you like going for a jog? I like just like walking. Walking in nature. Me too.
Yeah, sometimes it's just nice. I really like nature. Like, I like going for a walk and just hearing like the birds and stuff. And I don't know if it's going to sound cringe, but I like hearing the wind and just looking at the sky and stuff. I take pictures as well.
Nice.
Sometimes, or videos. Just random of the sky or whatever.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's nice to
I like
take photos.
Yeah, sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No, you're not. Honestly, it's gorgeous.
What else outside? I don't know if this is going to sound really weird, but sometimes I don't really do this anymore because like I don't have time, but sometimes I'll like just go on a train that's not underground, like that's above ground, so I can just like look out the window. I don't know.
That's lovely.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like looking at the outdoors.
No, there's like so many TV shows about great railway journeys. Like, for example, an interesting guy, Michael Portillo, is a famous old politician, conservative. He has a show called Portillo's Wonderful Railway Journeys, and Man, there's some in Switzerland, just sitting by the window, just hearing the sound of the train, but seeing the mountains outside. Gorgeous.
Sounds it.
Go on.
Sounds it.
Yeah. Oh, man, it'd be a dream. Are you aware of the phrase ASMR?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah. Is that your sort of ASMR, imagining that scene sat by a train window?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, sorry, I'm like...
It's okay.
Yeah, I really like it, sitting by the train window, just hearing like the sounds and everything, and like just looking at everything. I don't know, it's just kind of peaceful to me.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I have my sort of thing as well. Sometimes when I have a lot of issues with insomnia, and part of it is it just not being able to sleep really drives you a bit nuts whilst you're just sitting in bed like, I'm going to sleep now. What helps me is imagining just being next to a car window and it's raining and just hearing the pitter-patter of the rain window, but also like seeing it, feeling it as well. Like, trust me. And I think everyone has that little thing for them. For some people it's waves, for some people it's rain on windows. Sometimes it's like a train journey as well. Are there like dream train journeys you'd ever wish to go on, or is there one particular one that you went on that you just really loved?
Mine are not as fun as the Swedish one. Mine is the Elizabeth line.
Nice.
I do want to actually like go somewhere else, like maybe in Europe somewhere, but I just need to find the time.
Oh, well, like interrailing.
Yeah. But for now, it's the Elizabeth line.
Yeah, it's quite nice. I've recently got on it. My partner lives in Stratford, so getting there on the Elizabeth line, beautiful. Takes you so many places. And to our international audiences out there, that's the most recent train on the underground. First thing you got to do when you get over it, get on a train, try it out. It's nice though. I think ASMR is really important to everyone, and when we go through like tough stuff like this, I think you need those sort of things to put you in a very calm state. And like me, I'm like a really big advocate of doing stuff that's mindful and just keeping you relaxed. So I love listening to ASMR, like the sound of rain on cars. I love drawing sometimes. Even playing video games, it's very relaxing. It's good for your mental health. And it's what we call, it puts you in a flow state. It's just so narrow-minded and focused on it. You're not wide about what you think about. You're just caught in a moment. So what do you think of the train journey from Uxbridge, where Brunel University is, to central London?
Excuse me, I've got a bit of chocolate peanut. I'm still crunching.
She's still crunching.
Oops. So to central London from Uxbridge, I actually do that commute twice a week for work. I work near Baker Street in this little Austrian restaurant.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. It's not so bad. I'm actually like quite used to it now because I've been commuting since like 2019, because when I first started Brunel, I was commuting from home. I don't know why, because I lived in East London, so that was a 2-hour commute.
All the way to the west, yeah.
But I don't know, like I don't really mind it. I don't mind the journey. To most people, like when I tell them, like to work is like an hour and a half for me, they're like, why do you do it? That's so far. But to me, I don't really mind.
It depends also what city you're in as well. Like a lot of these big metropolises, like for example Tokyo, is quite common for people to have like an even longer commute than that. So I know London is a very big place, and that does sound like a long commute, but there's people that do even longer, and like people live on the outskirts of London and commute in for work. So yeah, it's just unfortunately the nature of urban sprawl and modern life. And when you find yourself at university, do you think there's a lot of support services there for your condition? Yeah,
actually, there's... I can't remember the official name of it. I think it's called literally the Student Support Services or something like that. But basically I have a disability advisor, and she kind of like helps me when I need support or advice. She helped me get my accommodation, like to meet my requirements. So for my condition, like I would especially request an ensuite, so she would like make sure that I get that. And then even when it comes to like my coursework, she kind of helps me. Like if I say, okay, I'm ill, I can't really finish this, she will help me to like get an extension. Or sometimes like in more severe times, she'll help me to get like extenuating circumstances.
Okay, that's good. I've got that for you.
Yeah. So yeah, the university has been really supportive. Yeah.
No, it's good to know. Like when I was at Brunel, I struggled a lot my first year and second year, and I used the counselling service there, which I found very useful. But I know some people have good experiences, some people have bad experience. But just to any Brunel students out there that are listening in, you know, there's always help for you out there, and go and ask for it on campus. They'll be there, the counselling service. And you going to say?
Speaking of the counselling service, I actually had a therapy session with one of the counsellors today, like earlier.
Oh, wow.
So
Nice.
yeah, I'm also part of that. I've been seeing the same therapist since 2019, like on and off.
Okay.
And that's like really helped me. Like sometimes we need help with our mental health. Sometimes like university can be stressful, and then other things can be stressful.
And they all happen at once.
Yeah,
don't they?
exactly. It's all boom, you know. So yeah, I found it really helpful, especially because it's like at Brunel as well. It's like all together, if that makes sense. So yeah.
So you can kill two birds with one stone. You can go hand in your coursework and go see a therapist.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like during my first year, I started off seeing like a private therapist outside of university, all the way in Finchley in North London. And it was just, I don't know why I did this for like maybe 3 months, but just, it was like on a Wednesday in the morning. So I'd like every Tuesday night, I'd be living on campus, but I'd go back to my home, stay there overnight, and then go see the therapist the next day, and then head back to campus. And it's just like the time spent just sitting on the train, just thinking about why am I not seeing a therapist on campus? It made no sense. He was good, but unfortunately I can't just get my therapist to move anywhere. But again, yeah, it's good that they offer that at uni. And, you know, sometimes you just need someone to listen and you can just unload to. And I think that is something so useful about the counsellors on campus. I think a lot of the time with me, they used cognitive behavioural therapy, which is, if you've got like issues of anxiety, is really good for challenging automatic, like hot thoughts that we all get. It's like, especially when it comes to concerns about physical health as well. It's, you know, the phrase spiraling.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you just, it's not that you become your own worst enemy, but you keep like thinking and overthinking about something, and like you just think the worst. And this is a real issue I have, and maybe you get that as well. Yeah. And like having a therapist there just kind of helps put things into perspective with you when you're talking about these things.
Yeah, actually today my therapist and I was talking about how I've been getting like really anxious for a while now, and I have this tendency to always be worried about the future, you know. And the way I put it to her today was, you know, today is Friday, but I'm living in next Tuesday. You know, I'm always worrying about like tomorrow or the day after, and she like helped me to see that I need to be more, well, actually try to be more grounded, like in the present, which is something I've been trying to do as well, through like breathing exercises.
Oh yeah, that's good.
And something she suggested today was like take a minute to name 5 things that I can see in the room around me, which helps me to come back.
That's very mindful. Yeah.
So I've actually been trying to do that today. Like I did that on my walk here, because I don't know, like I just get anxious like a lot these days for no reason, you know, even going outside. So as I was walking, I was like, okay, car, there's a sign, you know.
No, it's good.
And it actually helped, you know. So
I'm fully with you on these grounding exercises. It helps me when I'm anxious as well. And that's the thing about anxiety, because it's to do with the release of cortisol in your brain. So when you get stressed by something, you release cortisol, hence why you like it affects you emotionally, and you get those physical sensations. You get anxiety disorders, anxiety issues from cortisol just constantly shrinking that part of the brain to the point where it's not that it's permanently shrunk. And obviously I'm not a neuroscientist the way I'm describing this, but that's why it's so easy just to keep feeling anxious about things and feel it constantly. Like, especially when you're at university and like you're in your final year and there's a lot going on, this is how I felt my final year as well. And it's tough. And I will say, like, you'll look back at this in a couple of years, me like, thank God I'm not at university anymore.
Yeah. University, throughout the years, like, I've just been getting so stressed and stuff like that. Now I'm trying to just be more calm and just take one day at a time. That's kind of what I keep telling myself, like, just one day at a time. You know, today's Friday, focus on Friday, you know, and just take each day as it comes.
That's good.
And also I've been like telling myself to just, with my uni work, to just try my best. I can't really do any more than that.
Yeah. And mate, we'll all make mistakes. Right? I can tell you about so many fuck ups I did at uni.
One thing I said to myself like a few months back, I don't know if it's going to sound cringe or not, but it helped me, is that, you know, if I'm stressing about my assignment, my lecturer isn't going to take that assignment and like smell the stress and give me more marks. So is there any point in stressing? You know, like that's not going to get me more marks. So I was like, you know what? And that really helped to just calm me down, you know. And
that's such a funny way.
I mean, it worked for me.
Yeah.
So,
if anxiety was a perfume, what would it smell like?
Oh my gosh, what would it smell like? Like
something bloody horrible.
Yeah, like just horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, really like upsetting, like sharp, blunt smell. I'm trying to think. Oh, like I burnt my toast really badly this morning, and just my living room stank for ages. So I guess burnt toast would be a start.
Yeah, something like that, I imagine.
That's another great mindfulness activity: getting a piece of toast and just running your hands along it. Strawberries as well. I remember my therapist was telling me about this.
Oh, okay.
So like a grounding exercise. There's one breathing exercise I really like doing that. Mate, I've got ADHD and I really struggle with meditation and mindfulness, but this is the one exercise I can do that almost always works, even just by a little bit. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it in for 7 seconds, and breathe out for 8 seconds, and then just do that 4 times in a row. And honestly, different things work for different people, you know, but for me, I think that's one of the few things that I'm like, okay, I feel better for doing that every time.
Well, thank you. I think I'm gonna try. I'm making notes in my head because I need like all the help I can get.
It's fine. This is one thing I'm bad at though. Like, rather than listening to people, I'm just constantly giving them advice.
No, that's good. I need advice. Thank you.
That's okay. I need advice too, but sometimes it's just better to listen. I just watched this this coaching thing at work. It's like how to coach people. It's like don't give them advice. Just listen. Just keep asking them questions. I'm like, I need to try and do that. And then lo and behold, what have I done in this session? Not ask questions. No. I've asked some. I'm joking. So I think that's all we've got time for now. But can I just say, like, it's been really, really like amazing having you on here, Hestina.
Thank you.
And like, I know you said you've been nervous and you weren't sure how this is going to play out, but I think you've just been really open, and that's all we can ask from each other in this weird world.
Yeah.
Is there any final thing you want to say out there to our audience about anything? It doesn't have to be about inflammatory bowel disease. It doesn't have to be about uni. It can be about anything you want. It could be about those things.
Well, I think everyone needs to take the time to look after themselves. I feel like it's just so easy to get caught up in like stress and other things, and like even, for example, like my job, like I can just get too focused on my job.
Okay.
And it's just so important to take time to prioritize ourselves, you know, like what do we need, like physically, mentally, you know. And it's okay to have a rest, you know, like I sometimes feel bad for resting because I'm like, okay, I'm not doing anything. I need to be doing uni work. I need to be doing this, you know.
That's
but
anxiety, yeah.
You know, it's good to like just rest and take time out for yourself, you know, because at the end of the day, we're the most important thing. Without us, like without ourselves, we can't really do anything, you know, like if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, we have to just take care of ourselves, make sure we're okay, and then
what do we need, you know?
Yeah.
This is the thing I hate about the hustle, everyday grind culture. Like, yeah, you got to get out there and grind. You got to get.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you don't. You do that when you can with, you know, all the stuff you need. Like, take a nap.
Exactly.
Take some time out to go sit in nature.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you're in your final year of uni, all this studying. I'm honestly fully behind you there. You're going to make me cry shortly as well.
I mean, even when it comes to like a job or money or anything, like money is good, yeah, but like if you're not happy or if you're not okay, like what good is the money, you know, if you're like working yourself so hard and everything, and then, you know, if you don't actually get time for yourself, like when do you even get the time to use that money, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So
you can always get money, but time is a finite thing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's important to remember, I guess, like a job or money is like part of your life, and it isn't your life, like your whole life, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And that is a very nice vibe to finish on. And on that note, I'm going to wish everyone out there a wonderful Friday night all the way here from London. And we will look forward to seeing you back on again soon, Hestina. We'd love to see you on Pick Up the Mic to talk about some fantasy, science fiction or gaming, possibly Sims 4. I would love to do an episode on Sims.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, that's all, folks. Speak soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.